to generate funds for his survival. In view of the above findings, coupled with evidence, the nude photos and videos abused by the victims, this investigation has to charge defendant Liberty Capel with the commission of the crime of disseminating obscene material, criminal coercion, and disorderly conduct.
Nothing will stop this legislature from doing the Liberian people work or doing that which we believe in our good conscience we should do on behalf of our people. If you want to stop us, then burning our house is not the solution. You got to take my life. That's the only way. So I don't want to unnecessarily speculate on those kind of things. The investigation will show what went wrong. I have confided in no one about receiving threatening messages.
You think Joseph Baga will use my hand to be corrupt? A corruption in Italy will not use my hand to be corrupt. And watch the process and see. The process has started. And the police refuse to save for the people. Then that means there's no police. Police say for me, I will not come. And they make attempt to come for me. They can't handle my case. I'll be fighting to take one goal from one of them. What's supposed to start will start.
This country is the rule of law.
Oh, I can't think to the police. You see the rule of law, right? Follow the law, right? Let them not respect me and go through my case. That big man you see Rachel Kuhn doing so, they may want to World Trade Center. We will know Joseph Baga who went to World Trade Center. So what's the process and see?
We are calling for an independent forensic investigation to establish the authenticity of what occurred on that fateful day of February 29, and also demanding the government of Liberia to facilitate the conduct of an independent autopsy on the two dead bodies of Isa Masale and Abraham Kekula that are yet to be buried. We are also calling the attention of the international community through their embassies or diplomatic missions located near Monrovia to pay keen attention to the deadly situation which occurred in King George, Grand Cape, County. Peaceful citizens' lives were lost, and some were brutally manhandled by the Liberian National Police while representing the interests of the BF Mountain Mining Corporation.
President Joseph Numa Boyka, I've only been working with him a few months, but it seems like 30 years. I am blessed to glean from his wisdom. And he's a deacon. And people of God know the qualifications of a deacon. Yes. And he has fulfilled all of the qualifications of a deacon. But deacon is a word. Faith is active. And I've been able to observe his faith. He shared with me a story about when time he was in school as a young boy, and he had been put out of school for tuition, and he prayed, and he asked God. Then he got on his knees that evening in the dorm. He said, if I ever have to go through this again, I should come back to school. And from that day until today, God has been his keeper, his provider.
What it's now trying to demonstrate is that even CDC were more democratic and supportive and respectful of free expression. Everywhere around the world, democracy encourages free expression. If you think Yeke says something that was not correct, you have your Minister of Information, you have your press secretary, they can go on the same radio and clarify and say, Yeke ain't told true. You can't expel somebody or remove somebody from the legislature because they express a view that you don't like or use robust words to describe the president. You know, look, brother, I don't know why these people are so intolerant. You know, tolerant is what? It's not just accepting view, right? It's accepting the view that you don't like. Why Yeke has said, we may have problem with it. You know, yet they sat down over there, the same people sat down over there applauding Yeke. He said all sort of things about we are condoning. We are saying, look, this is democracy. I have to have thick skin. I have to absorb some of the angry people in this country. Yeke is not pleased with Boka's conduct. Yeke feel let down. He feel betrayed.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.
I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. Here within my arms again. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. and it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you, and it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillows. Soon awake, the morning sun rises, but I'm alone. Hurts me so.
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3,
I love you.
4, 5, 6,
I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. It shows on my face, the evidence is right here. My smile has been erased, can't you tell? I have no appetite, my food.
It's another day, and this day is called Thursday or Wednesday, Sarah.
You could be replaced.
It's the 22nd day of May 2024.
Oh, great, we used to be.
A beautiful country, strategically positioned, blends, yet cursed.
These dreams into reality.
Another day to talk the issues as they unfold from in Liberia and out of Liberia on the show Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Morovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia 90.7 Bon County, the online radio in which you can follow all of Voice of Liberia programs from wherever you are around the world. www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. Thanks to the community radio stations that relay the show. We appreciate you. Thank you ever so much. So we are again. We've got a couple of issues on our plate. Amara Corner not satisfied. Questions the 22 million United States dollar used by the president. Said he got it on silver platter and nothing to show for it. The economy, it's in the hands of foreigners. When we tell you that Liberia isn't sovereign, you wouldn't believe it. Well, the politicians now who have supported, who have all along called for a free market, open society, they have in a second thought. My name is Sam Andrews. Edwin Dwyer is in. Patrick Sa is on the camera, and we are at your disposal until 5:50.
7, 8, 9, I want you back. Here within my arms again.
What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you, and it's so unfair.
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back.
Time is of the essence, and radio, it's time. So let's acknowledge those of you who have come on. You came ahead of us. Thank you ever so much. Yumotro Kringa, you've come on from Minnesota, the United States of America. Good to have you on. Mayor Brown, you are watching from New Jersey, the United States of America. Juje Oneway, you've come on from Johnsonville. Andrew Trocom Bestment, you are following from District 10, Montserrat County. Moya Sharif, you've come on from 9th Street, Cinco. Solomon Kurembi, you've come on from Old Road, Cinco, Divine Town. Ambassador Delino Roosevelt Zoe Senior, you are following from District 15, Butchero Island. Solo Wat Corsia, you've come on from your comfort zone, Gardnersville, New Georgia Estate. Duarte, you've come on. Thank you ever so much. My Southeast sister, hope that you are faring well. You are following from Minnesota, the United States of America, as Yumotro Mohammed Toure. You've come on from Lofa County, Vonjama. It's good to have you on, Mohammed Toure. You're becoming regular. Emmanuel Richardson, you are following from Corwell. Jimmy Jingo Jacko, you're following from New Jersey, the United States of America. Paul Jalla, you've come on from where you did not say, okay, Boston, the United States of America. Emmanuel K. Popa, you are following from District 17, Brookville, Parker Conan Community. Jared G. Pilinan, you've come on from Congo Town. Emmanuel Higgins, you didn't say, but you greeted. Thank you. Etta Gay, you're following from, you didn't say, but you said good afternoon, Voice of Liberia. Good afternoon. Stanley N. Gayu, you are following from Jamaica Roll. Ambassador Cyrus Moore Sambolai, you've come on from Minneapolis, the United States of America. Amara M. Ducle, you are watching from United Nations Drive, you said, Rally Time Market. And Tina Cooper, you've come on from Denver, Colorado, the United States of America. Thank you all for coming on. We've got a couple of things to talk about on our afternoon plate. One of the statutory members have just come on, Moses Lake from Kakata. Moses Lake never missed out on the show. Alfred Wiggy from Salala District, Bone County. Netta Jerry Cooper from FDA. You are following. Okay. So these are what we've got on our plate. The country, the hardship has grown. It's getting mature. It's widespread. People are feeling the pinch. It is getting harder and harder. Usually, my man just got in. Joa?
Yeah, thank you. Also, we are on and
yeah,
and it's interesting. So we are on and we will be talking to our correspondent at 4:00 this afternoon. Today we will be reaching out to the Maryland County correspondent, and she will talk to us a bit about the happenings in Maryland County. And we will also talk to other Bong or Margibi County correspondent as well, Ramsey or Afro Wiki. Either of them will fill up to 4:00 this afternoon. So, and a lot we have for you as the hardship grows in Liberia. The hardship grows in Liberia. Who is responsible for the hardship, and what can we do to minimize the hardship in Liberia? Like Sam said, it's all about down the economies of our country. Who is responsible for some of these things we are facing on today? So we got a log for you up to 5:55 as we'll be zooming out.
Usually, the expression is always clear in the ears of everybody whenever a transition takes place that the government has just come on. You have to give the government chance. The government is new. Things, yes, are hard, but it will get better with time. And a lot more, you hear these statements, these expressions. They are expressions that not new presently. These are expressions that we've heard from time to time. So they are not news in themselves. But from the early start, you would see what is referred to as the political indicators of a good start. It is obvious. Nothing starts on a silver platter. There will be some rough edges, but as those rough edges unfold themselves, you will also, alongside it, see signs of light at the end of those rough edges. So, what is happening? We will have to brace ourselves for a longer time in it. This is no bad thing to say. This is not unpatriotic. It's not unnationalistic. It's not anti-government or anti-party or no personal stuff with anybody, but this is the reality. Everywhere, everybody is feeling the pinch. Even some government officials now who have the dollars, they are becoming more economical now than you think they will just go about spending. Almost everybody now making adjustment in whatever they find themselves in or doing. It is all because they are not too sure of the future. Therefore, they start to brace themselves by making adjustment in the individual ventures they've got. We already have this stuff with the nation's staple. It's going to be like that for some time because of no solution yet. And then you have other issues unfolding. So if you look at the atmosphere, you see that it's just, Liberia atmosphere right now is just like a graveyard. That's how it looks. There's complete quietude, no certainty, no people not hopeful that things going to change and change anytime soon. So you see, you see discouragement. You see a lot more in the people, in their faces, their expressions as they speak. You see that the hardship is it is increasing to a level that if it continues this way, people will be walking on the street and just fall. You will just see people falling. So the decision makers, it's up to you people, but it is hard. It's getting harder. It will reach to the hardest point. Don't be doubtful. Don't say that I'm being unpatriotic or nationalistic. We speak the reality. Right now, there is uneasiness, which we'll talk about later. Mr. President is uncomfortable. This morning, we heard that Mr. President walked away from the meeting, and I believe that because the pictures that the guys were showing, the people who control the economy of the country, they sat down for a very long. They were just focusing on them and nowhere for Mr. President to be saying. When I heard that this morning, my mind immediately ran on that video I was looking at. It's just like on the international scene, when something is happening on the other side, given the bad nature of it, they wouldn't want you to see. That's how they work on the international, watch the international media. What they want you to see, it's what they will always put on the screen. It's what they will always put on the screen. Then they will leave the side that they don't want you to see. So because
that's information management.
Yeah, but in this situation, I'm using it in this. I'm using it in this situation. Why when we heard this morning that Mr. President walked out of the meeting, then I reflected. I reflect because I kept on looking at that video over and over, waiting to see Mr. President walking in or the meeting ended and Mr. President out. But only to hear this morning that Mr. President had walked out. So no solution. Things are getting harder. It will reach the hardest point. Brace yourself for it. This is not to say I'm sounding unpatriotic or nationalistic or
not
cherish that, but this is the reality we have before us.
That's the reality. So, Sam, you know what will happen now is that the country, we have already been facing serious hunger problem in the country, serious difficult times in the country where you got a lot of people going to bed without food to eat. You got a lot of people walking in the street. They can't even capture where will they get the rent from, because 98% of the population in Moserado County, they are renter. So you will see people nowadays, their household will rely directly on the rent and all of the feeling of their kids and themselves. So because of the hardship now, Sam, you will see a lot of people walking in the street talking by themselves. So walking, talking by themselves, the country, serious hardship in the country. No company coming, as it was being promised or perceived by the people of Liberia, that when the man becomes president in the country, we will receive a lot of NGOs, companies coming in. But right now, we are not seeing any NGO or company, a new company to come in, unless for the old one we got here. The old companies we got here, they are maltreating, some of them are maltreating the workers and stuff. Protests continue to mount all forms and means in corners of our country. People protesting, and you see police going there to ease down the tension, and the state continue to grow. Why? Because the economies of our country has not rested. You see, Commerce Minister woke up and gave his own statement. President woke up, go have meeting with the leaders. Meeting did not end good. He picked up from the meeting, or he boycotted the meeting and left. So where are we? They are telling us that there is no shortage of rice, or there will be no increment of rice prices. If so, now we accept. But then, why the president walk out of the meeting or boycotted the meeting? That we will not go that route, So that's how it is, The country, we are impoverished. Let's say this, we are impoverished. The impoverishment of our country is on a high increase. And every day that breaks, you see people going into deficit. People, like what they will tell D-hole and cover hole, or the other one they will call CP or EP, E and worry. It is what taking over the entire country right now. People go take people goods to go sell. No account, they go sell, no profit. You bring the goods, no buyers. At the end, you yourself have to eat the goods. Then you start to hustle and pay the goods price. How can we make it in such a situation? How can we improve life standard in Liberia where we don't have an income? You don't have a permanent income or even an income. You don't have a status where you can hope on that government has provided, that citizens will rely on and will feed their family, take their rent and stuff. It's kind of embarrassing. The country we have opted to see is not what the country is on the trajectory of. We opted to see Liberia that it would have been better than how it has been under previous administrations, ranging from the Charles Taylor days. After the war, we went through revolution. We came and succeeded on former President Madam Salif. Later, former President George Weah came on. But then we over-criticized, and dismally graded the past regime of former presidents. So giving us the seat and the authority now, at least with us now to perform to the expectation of the people. We just talk on, we have not gone nowhere. The prices of things continue to increase. Gasoline, when former President George Weah was leaving power or position, gasoline was being sold for pretty close to 860, I think 860, 840. It was somewhere in between there. But as we speak, gasoline is now to 900, 950 some places. Some places, in fact, you find it 1,000, depending the time and where or the condition. So you see there is an increasement there. Rice, when George Weah was here, though it came a time we had a crisis of rice where you saw people buying a cup of rice for 150 LD, and little rice price went up to, I think, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 for a 25 kg rice. And in the course of, I think, a month, that issue has been resolved by former President George Weah. Now, when former President George Weah was leaving the presidency, rice price was somewhere around $3,350. That was the actual price. $3,350, $3,300. That was the price you could find at the time. So currently, as we speak, the rice price is now for 3,600, some area 3,650, depending the rate. If we do the calculation of the rate per what the minister stated, rice being sold for like $18. So you see the level of increment in the price of rice. So tell us now, how many people will have the means of surviving and purchasing rice to eat a day when you don't have a source of income? The little business you're doing is not even going frequently that you rely on.
So generally, there is a hardship. That's the content. Generally, there is a hardship. The hardship has engulfed the country everywhere, and it seems Abu Bakr Ba had put on his prophetic posture when he predicted.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. Prophets of doom. But the reality will come in. Because the guys who are coming to multiply the economic woes, when you look at the officials, they are still in campaign mode because Unity Party was so desperate about it. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people. Officials, they are still in campaign mode because Unity Party was so desperate about it. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come in.
And that is the reality, truly. We are faced with the reality. So we brace ourselves for what we have before us and beyond. That will take us to the next pointer, which is in relation to dates. Senator Amara Conan, but before then, just let me lay the basis. The president, you are aware, said in 100 days, no car will have been stuck in the mud. What he meant then, that his government in 100 days will have moved and construct or reconstruct or rehabilitate the major roads, because he used the expression major roads, that he was in the position, not only with the knowledge, but the technical ability to do that. The 100 days, people questioned experts from in and out of Liberia, said, given Liberia's culture, it wasn't possible. 100 days, too small. The president, fanatics, or supporters, they went spreading themselves all over the place, defending that it was possible. Fast forward, the president requested for 41 million plots that if the legislature didn't approve that 41 million plots, the government will have shut down. The president didn't stop there. He said that he had used 22 million United States dollars to complete what he said of his 100 days deliverable. Now, one of those who brought this president and Unity Party to power has given a critical but damning assessment of the president's 100 days deliverable with specific reference to the 22 million United States dollars the president said he used to construct the road. No other person but Senator Amara Conan. Amara Conan is a die-hard supporter of this government, even though in the previous government or the government before CDC government, Unity Party government, he and Joe Boakai were not on good footing. He had condemned Joe Boakai, saying that he was inept, that he was a devil, that he did not have the vision, and on and on. Don't ask me for that clip because you will feel bad about. But let's leave it that way because Americana is a good guy. He's a good guy, very good senator, and one of the best brains we have in our country who doesn't mince his words on issues. So yeah, what he said, he gave his assessment of the 100 days deliverable of the president. He said, President Joseph Yuma Boakai ended his 100 days in office on May 1st with little to show for the $22 million United States dollar spending package the legislature had handed him on its silver platter. Underline that expression, silver platter, meaning there was no hurdle, there was no difficulties. Unlike other allocations or disbursements, you will have to justify, you will have to appear before the legislature, you will have to do a lot more, you will have to convince. So Americana is saying that given the situation, this president did not go through any of the rigorous financial justification for $22 million. It was placed at his disposal with ease and confidence. So there is no worry there. That's what he said. Listen again. He said President Joseph Yuma Boakai ended his 100 days in office on May 1st with little, not some more, but little to show for the $22 million United States dollars spending package the legislature had handed him on a silver platter. Then he will quote Nemot. He said, Nemot reports Boakai has met just 10 out of 100 commitments for the period. This is little better than former President Weah's 100 days performance in 2018, which President Boakai's Unity Party considered as a dismal failure. That means they as you put it, I want to simplify so you understand it good. He's not condemning Weah administration. We are 100 days deliverable. What he's simply saying that we are in his first 100 days did not deliver much. And Unity Party people hung on it and determined it as a dismal failure that we have failed in his 100 days deliverable. That's why he's simply saying by the expression. Nemot reports Boakai has met just 10 out of 100 commitments to the period, for the period. This is a little better than former President Weah's 100 days performance in 2018, which President Boakai's Unity Party considered a dismal failure. Americana went further to give a whole breakdown now, or to summarize it in few words. He said, this represents a failure on 3 points. Liberia's post-Weah reset required. 1, that means what Weah inherited, the atmosphere President Weah inherited, what he needed to do, and set the basis for President Joseph Yuma Boakai. So what I'm about to explain, if you have the document, if you look at it carefully, he's simply saying the conditions that existed for Weah, and Weah was able to achieve some, and he wasn't able to achieve some, but he set the basis for Boakai to move forward. Hence, this $22 million, Boakai cannot say or cannot show anything substantial for it. So in essence, the senator is saying, no, the president will still have to explain. Yeah, is it? He said this represents a failure on 3 fronts. Liberia's post-Weah reset required. 1, building domestic, regional, and international support for our new president and country. 2, taking stock of the country's financial position before the inauguration, ensuring up that the funding with international support, and 3, forming an inclusive government comprising rigorously vetted professionals, irrespective of political persuasion or closeness to the executive. That's what Bouakai should have done, meaning the atmosphere was so easy, clear, and it stayed. Then Amara Kone went to conclude, Senator Kone. He said, instead, insiders of the Bouakai administration have spent their time gatekeeping, securing jobs for themselves and their friends, and sidelining those intent on rigorous and effective governance. Some of the same friends who cheer us when we fearlessly spoke out against former President George Weah's failed policies are the ones paying starving journalists. There's one, he said people are attacking him, paying starving journalists to launch scurrilous attacks on my integrity for holding our government accountable for the change we promise the Liberian people. They want to brand me as angry and bitter. I am not. I am disappointed in the many false starts in our government, and I am loyal enough to them and to the Liberian people that I will keep speaking the truth no matter what. Failure is not an option for this government. Read my op-ed in the Daily Observer. That means he sent the article. This is just a summary. He sent a full article in the Daily Observer newspaper reflecting on President Bouakai's 100 days here. I hope Bouakai and my friends in the UP read my reflections objectively and absorb them in good faith. That's how he ended. That the 22 million, according to the senator, which Bouakai got on silver platter, they can see nothing from it. Didn't we tell you that the president lied? And the president should not have stooped so low of a person as president of a country when majority of the roads in both rural and urban Liberia are bad off. Even urban Liberia, where the city is, almost all the roads are bad off. So much so that the president can travel to certain place or on certain roads in the city because his people have told him that the roads are bad off. Yet they will tell the president that, or the president will have that bold face to come out and say he used 22 million United States dollars repairing all of the roads or rehabilitating the roads, and his 100 days deliverable was successful. You hear what Amara Kone said? Amara Kone is simply saying the same thing that we said a couple of weeks on the show, that the president lied. He said the president received the 22 million on silver platter, but there isn't anything to show the president. They have seen nothing, even though they approved the money. The legislature too has a problem, but you can't blame the legislature. On the other hand, they had thought that the president was serious, that he wasn't going to lie. So now they realize that the president lied. They are coming out now to say that the president will have to show. So it means they are telling us that everything he said in that 100 days deliverable, not true at all. Look what Amara Kone said. He said the president received it on silver platter. So he needed to have done something convincing. Now, because he is speaking out according to him, Unity Party people, they are paying certain media institutions and journalists to damage his character. But it was the same Amara Kone that Unity Party was hailing, all Unity Party people. It was the same Amara Kone that cried for Unity Party. It was the same Amara Kone that stood for Joseph Yuma Bouakai. It was the same Amara Kone when Joseph Bouakai was giving up when he was at the point of near giving up, it was the same Amara Kone who stood with him in his office. Every now and then, Amara Kone was in his office giving him hope and assurance. It was the same Senator Amara Kone who was doing the mathematics, because none of the UP people have any knowledge, with the exception of Amara Kone, or statistics. So it was Amara Kone who was doing all of the maths, and it worked for Unity Party. It was the same Amara Kone that told the Unity Party people, let us not fail the people. If we have a blunder, let us say, and explain the shortcomings for those blunders. If we made success, let us tell the people. So now it is the same Amara Kone that did all for Unity Party. According to him, they have turned against him now. They're paying people. He said the same thing they criticized President Weah regime of, that President Weah regime was paying certain media people, journalists, individually, to write a number of things against them. They are doing the same thing they condemn Weah for. So you see, but that is not an issue, it's personal. I wonder they can settle it. But the main thing here is the man is not satisfied with the 22 million. He said the president got on a silver platter, and he's right. But we said it, the president lied. Nothing, look across. How would a president of a country not go across, not go to other places? Yeah? The public works minister, his public works minister, they didn't tell him, but they had the audacity to tell him that the $22 million was successful. They've completed all of the major roads. When cars are still being stuck in the mud everywhere. In the city center, cars are sticking in the mud. You have accidents unfolding these few days because we are getting in the middle of the rainy season now. The holes are getting deep and deep by the day. Public Works Ministry has no time. But anyway, they say 22 million cover all of those things. Dragamin.
Okay, so that comment, Amara, for being bold. But before we go deeply, 2 horses are on fire, you know.
Right now?
Yeah, in rehab community.
Hey, man.
It's been reported 2 horses are on fire, and the fire burning down the 2 horses. People requesting for fire service, and the chunking same bed.
Yeah, so just, yes, that's why we are on the radio. You have the ability. Those of you fire service people who are following presently, yeah, please move there. You say where? Where?
Rehab community. Yeah.
What specific area of rehab?
Just posted rehab, 2 horses.
Yeah, fire service people, we beg you. We know that you got some challenges too, but at least you tried in your weakness to get there. The 2 houses are presently on fire. 2 houses are burning.
Houses are very close to each other.
So fire service, we beg you get there as quickly as you people can. Rehab, the police have taken the motorbikes off the road, so the road is clear. The motorbikes are not serving as impediment to the free flow of vehicles. Fire service, we beg you run there. It's being reported that we are told that 2 houses in the rehab area on fire. Okay.
Okay, so Amara, as a senator, you know, this is what education calls for. Amara wouldn't be one of those senators who would be sycophantic in his analysis. He wouldn't want to be someone who people will categorize them to be, they are the one who brought the government, so anything the government does is in their favor. So the hardship we are into, they are responsible. So Amara, being an educated man, is far-sighted, informing the Liberian people exactly that the fault the government has been able to have in the period of time. Despite the commitment the government made to the Liberian people and a lot of challenges we are faced with, but the government has had some shortcoming, so they should be able to explain to us that the government has had these lapses, so people will understand exactly that the government is opting to bring change and is not on the same trajectory of the past leadership. Amara coming up and giving out his, perspective on how the president said he used the 22 million, it has been clear that he is not saying it because he wants to, do it because the people of Liberia depend on Senator Amara Conan to do everything possible or whatever thing he is to do as a senator. But what happens is you need to know exactly that Amara stands for certain thing in the government. He promised the government or the Liberian people a good governance. He promised the Liberian people transparency and accountability. And that is the reason why you saw Liberians going the way Amara was going. When they all went the way Amara was calling for, today we have the president, Joe Boakai, or Deacon Joe. Amara don't want you to consider him to be somebody who brought President Joseph Boakai, and everything Boakai does, he's in the know or he's agree, or he accept what President Joseph Boakai would do or the government would do. He always leaving things ahead, explaining and giving his analysis and vision about how these things will land. Giving the statistics on the 2 million, that's the 22 million about the road, the reconstruction of roads in Liberia. The Amara has earlier on said, it appears to be, on a civil platform, something like you went and got it, and what you opted to do, you didn't do it, and people expected a lot from what you got, and it didn't work out. So we still got, couple of roads in Liberia that people are facing serious challenge with. So if you say you use like 22 million on major roads, if you talk about major roads, one of the first priority will be the Lofa to Banga Road, maybe the coastal road in the southeast, maybe the coastal to the east of, let's say from the southeast to the northern part of the country, from Grand Jidea to Nimba. Those are, instinctual roads people will be looking at. Like the river says to Sino, those are the instinctual roads people will be looking at. But we have not gotten any good report to substantiate that the $22 million, was being used on the road. But we just been informed that they use it on road. But to clearly spread it out that this road was being affected by the 22 million, or this road was being touched by the 22 million. Up to current, we yet to know. When you go on Facebook, you see clean road, you see yellow machine. People put it there. They say the other road is from the other county. The other road from the other county. That the president creating the road. Is that how we going to account for the 22 million after we have, given the assurance to the people of accountability? And that's not how.
This is an honest critique from the senator. He is a part of them. He said it repeatedly in his write-out, so they have to take it, as he said, in good faith. Let's move to the line, and before then, let's recognize those of you who have come on lately. Gabriel Mount of Broadville, Jackson Pony of Iron Factory, Stephen Coker of the United States of America, Minnesota. Let's have your say, or have your say rather, on these two topics, and then we move to another hot topic. Again, the senator is back again. He's vexed. The expression used this time, we keep that. The senator is vexed with his own party. What is happening? Too early for that. 0770 907 907 0776 36 40 45. Hello? Hello? Yes, you are on the air. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I am actually calling from.
No, actually, you are a bit low. Got to find out what's happening. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
This is Stephen B. Kirby Jr. or better still referred to me as political messiah. And I think in the discussion from 5:40 this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me applaud you for your brilliant and unique analysis. Let me say big thanks to the senator there, that Anna Conan, for his brilliant and transparency it to the public. You know, Joe Boakai has become another embarrassment to the political discourse of Liberia, because why exhibiting all of this under his regime, I haven't seen that under any other administration. So I think Joe Biden had to call his team back to see how better they can work as a thing to provide good governance
Chief.
for Liberia.
Thank you.
Thank you for affording me the opportunity.
Have a nice day. 0770-907-907. 0776-36-4045. Hello? Hello?
Thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew. Good afternoon to you. This is Hussein Kew, and I join in from District 2 Pakistan. Let me commend both of you for informing people about this time. You know, I listened to you when you read the post, and I came across the post on American. But you know, this is a modern democracy, and people should have the time and the space to disagree, regardless of your association or closeness to the government that be. So I one person who admire American during the days of our campaign, even when we in the election process. You know, it is a very good thing to have this agreement with your political party or your political leader. Unless in past years, we didn't see people who were very close to the presidency or close to the power that be, that will have that bravery, you know, to have come and criticize.
Chief, just stick to the issue. Forget about the past. Just stick to the issue.
Yeah, that's setting the basis, right? So for some of us who believe that this democracy that is open, it is welcoming that American should critique. Even this morning on your sister show, on Seku show, our person who criticized Ami Muda for just coming out and speaking loosely like that, he didn't have any communication from the president, and yet he spoke.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes? Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is this proud to be called the son of President Weah, called from ERDB. You know, Amara Conan understand very well that this president, which we currently was not a capable man. If I was Amara Conan who wrote in 2017 that this president has 17 grievances against his previous boss, they know very well that this man, all of the places he has led, he never lead well. But they brought him upon the Liberian people, and this is the suffering everybody going through. We just pray that those that will be able to withstand, at the end of the day, 2029, we replace President Weah so that he can take the mantle of authority again. Thank you for
calling. Have a nice Wednesday afternoon. Hello? Hello? You have to lower your radio, Chief. You called and the radio is loud. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you called from?
Yeah, my name is Chief calling what is community.
Let's hear you.
Thank you for your talking point this afternoon. No, the government, taking things seriously. If you talk about the rule outside like you take the rule, you tell which one of the rule that you taking. Oh, no way, we didn't tell a facing rule. That's a picture instead of people that facing grand rule, facing military rule, facing grand rule. I look at the people trying to keep power with and so no talent to against you. So if you question and get whatever government do the same, so I think move on.
Okay, Chief. Thank you ever so much. Have a nice day. Thank you all for spicing up. So let's move to the next one now. And we talked about this yesterday. And we talked about it before it came out. Back to the senator again. But before then, it was criticized. We talked about it rather, that the economy, Liberia's economy, is in the hands of foreigners. We've seen this from time to time. Government will come in. It's good to have an open market system. It's good to have a free. All of those expressions economically are used. I say Liberia is a sovereign country. But in my opinion, Liberia isn't a sovereign country. Liberia is what they call subservient country. You know, subservient means you are not fully independent, but you create the impression that you are independent. You can be independent by document, but you aren't independent to stand on your own. Most part of your existence is dependent on other people. So you are at the mercy of other people. That's how Liberia looks. Liberia is sovereign by document, but Liberia is subservient. Liberia is at the mercy of a number of countries, even though no man is an island, everybody needs everybody, but it is compulsory in your existence on earth as human being, as institution, to be independent most part, except in extreme case where you can call for someone's help, which will be needful. In the case of Liberia, everything, the country is run by foreigners. Even though we have a black president, the country is run by white race. Almost everything in this country. When we said it, people understood it the way they understood. Now, one of the stakeholders in the border politics of Liberia. Let's go back to the same Amara Cornell. What did he write? They are getting fed up. They think that something needs to change. That if Liberia continues this way, the country is headed for doom. After this, after condemning the president's usage of the 22 million, nothing from it, he came to talk about the situation that unfolded and stay unfolding with the rights. I was sure yesterday we talked about it. We were counting the Lebanese 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, many, all of them around the table. So what did he say? He wasn't in a meeting, but he saw that on social media. Immediately he took to his page. What did he say? 2 hours ago, he said, our food security is in the hands of a bunch. Our food security is in the hands of a bunch of Lebanese men. Too strong of a description. Isn't it dry? But it is his opinion. Mm-hmm. Our food security is in the hands of a bunch of Lebanese men. The rise is not new, but it is President Bouakar's problem now because his predecessors failed to fix it. Let's not forget that the head of K&K Corporation was banned from importing rice in Liberia and deported for allegedly creating artificial shortages in 2007 and 2008. He was soon allowed to resume operations and remains a leading figure in the foreign cartel that controls our food security. No Liberian leader wants to confront the problem. All of them have ignored the demand and supply theory in a free market economy. They are scared to fix the rice conundrum because the truth is that the rice cartel throws around millions of dollars to maintain the status quo. Elections are not tomorrow, but 5 years away. When you introduce tough but good policies early, the results show by the time the election cycle reaches. Then hear what he said again. You might ask what I did do when I was Minister of Finance. And certainly, thank you for going ahead of me because that was the question I was about to raise. Well, he said, we propose a bold plan that will have liberalized the IPD. The IPD. The IPD, just so you know, is Import Permits Declaration. The official document you have which gives you the full right to import. It's just like a visa. Once you receive your visa, it means you are all clear to move. It is the same with the IPD. Liberalize the IPD regime at the Ministry of Commerce. Set up a fund to support price fluctuations and open the rice market to the Liberian participation by giving them access to finance to support their leaders or their letters of credit, and use the proceeds plus a percentage of our reserves to fund a new agriculture bank to support local rice production. It sounds good, but it didn't work. All of them blundered too. He went further to say it died in cabinet. Yes, he was a senior member in Ellen's cabinet. Then he said the 1979 West riots were their justification. That means in the cabinet meeting, they will use this West riot for X, Y, Z, know why the situation today has not improved. Then he concluded by saying, to you, my fellow Liberians, how conscious we are as a country and people will determine how much of our destiny we determine ourselves. On the other hand, how unconscious we are will determine how much of our destiny is accidental or determined by non-Liberians, whom he referred to as bunch of Lebanese. He said, we argue endlessly with each other and attribute our man-made problems to some other force. We argue endlessly and avoid finding permanent solutions to our problems. We leave everything to God, but the problems persist. This is messed up. Shouldn't we ask if God is really listening to us? So, yes, the economy is in the hands of the Lebanese, the Indians, all of those people. It's in the hands. From time to time, it's because Liberians have never ever attempted since from 1822 to 1847, from 1847 to 2024, to step up to the plate as a country. So you can understand now when I say that Liberia is a subservient country, never ever attempted to stand on its own, never ever developed any hard policy. When you say hard policy, it will hurt the population, the country, but it will get better, like Ghana and other countries, Nigeria did. We only brag, boast, and rant in our country that we have good laws on the book. That's the only thing. Why other countries are advancing with good policies, why they are independent. Not that they don't get assistance from other countries. They do. But they are 80 to 85% dependent on themselves. For us, we are 0% dependent on ourselves. Everything Liberia begging at the mercy of people. This one thing, from one problem to another, it can be solved. From 1822 to 1847, from 1847 to 2024, all of the problems still exist and persist. There's one issue can be solved. How? Why will it be solved? Because the country has sold its birthright to the white race. Sorry if you think I'm sounding racist, but racism is a commonplace all over the world now. Even the very white people will use it and use it everywhere. So it ain't anything of a discrimination. We have turned our birthright over to the white people because we feel that they have everything, they can make it better, they have the expertise, they have the technical know-how, everything, so we place everything at their disposal. Look at what is happening. They are the ones who are building. Liberians aren't building. Liberians don't want to build. The Lebanese, the Indians are the ones who are building. And the more people build in your place, the more they
control the economy.
They control because they're taking the land.
Yeah.
They're bringing in this. They're bringing in that. They're doing this. And the only thing you will be boasting of, they create jobs for Liberians. They create jobs for Liberians. Many Liberians will be employed. It's not the issue of Liberians being employed. It's
about the legitimacy.
Your independence is gradually being taken away. So you see what we are faced with now in this country. This is not a news. It's not this regime alone. Regime after regime. No solution. So Liberia isn't independent. Look at the vast lands that we have. Look at the virgin lands. See, listen to how many government officials can be boasting of the kind of lands that they have. They think that, we can produce one bed. Go in Nigeria, see one politician farm. It can feed one quarter of the population, at least to say 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you know what happened is that we look at how patriotic people are before taking public positions. You know, Sam, it would interest you to know that the very people we consider as our leader, they don't have the what we want to term it to be, they don't have the law for this country. Like you just place it, you will have a minister bragging about the number of acres of land he or she has, and you will not find a single development on that land to employ least to say 100 persons are employed in that community. But they'll be in Morovia here bragging that they got 100 acres, 200, 1,000 hectares and stuff. So you know what happened now is that the country you see today that we all considering as our country, the economic status is getting bad up, and the typical Liberians are being pushed one side because the government is not looking in the position or direction of them. The government is prioritizing what they can get temporarily instead of permanently, but what they can get temporarily from other donors and partners they consider as their friends at the moment. So what will happen the next 10, 20 years from now, you will see that the typical Liberians who will own land will be people who got status, people who right now their parents are in government, people who right now got the money to afford and purchase land and have it saved for their future generation. But those of you who don't have the money to buy land at the moment, you will continue being suffering because the leader that's supposed to put things in place, the leaders are supposed to bring in companies, whatever stuff that you will work and earn small things for yourself, that you can purchase a piece of land for yourself. You can even be able to do a business for yourself. The leader is not focusing on what to prioritize for you, but instead the leader is there prioritizing what they can get for themselves. The meeting they went for yesterday about rice importation or stuff and thing, all you got to do your own there is the rest can you buy it. What are they agree on what price? What kind of commission with the government officials get? You got nothing to do with that because you are poor. They consider to be very poor, and when they're ready for position, they come back to you and just give you $1 or $2, and you be convinced and be running behind them, following them, and making the noise with them all around the place here. So it shows that the electricity in our country is still high. The electricity in our country is high. So because of that, you will see the number of people who will be upgraded from electricity to electric programs will be very difficult. The requisite education is not being taught to the native man, son or daughter. The very few schools, people will say that government school, they will build the government school and their children will not attend the school. They got you, the poor woman, son or daughter going to that government school. The government school don't have all that kind of support that people will go there. You have the equipped library where your children will go to study, your children will be involved in the competition. It's not that. Unless where the child is extra gifted or strong enough on his or her own, will graduate from high school in the bush, and some of them will make their way to County Monrovia and fight life. So to say you will live in the bush or the interior part of the country and see that life will be very easy, it's not difficult. That's it. It's not easy. Then they will say to Monrovia and say, if you can't make it in Monrovia, go back to the bush. What facility do they have in the bush for people living in the bush? Citizens in Monrovia, people in government will buy more of you, will laugh at you, that you are lazy. If you are lazy, what is the policy? What is the company? What is the involvement of the government in bringing in foreign investors that will attract you as a common person to find your daily bread so as you can help your family? But instead they will say Liberians are lazy. So since we are lazy, what is the government doing to make us strong? To increase rice price, that will make us strong. To increase gasoline price, that will make us strong. Eh? You know, sometimes the governments, they just come up, make some statement. It implies that they don't like the citizens, but they will just come up sugarcoating because they want the state power. And once they take the state power, they turn their back on you citizens.
So that's what
very heartbreaking.
That's what Liberia is. The economy of the country is being controlled remotely by the Lebanese, the Indians, or just the foreigners. You can blame them too. You can blame them. Every investor looks for a safe climate, conducive environment to set up his structure. If Liberians were setting up structure or engaging in these kinds of top businesses, there will be competition. Moreover, if you got the laws that will create a scene by which Liberians can compete with foreigners, like it is in Ghana, you will see Liberia moving to another level. We got the resources. God bless this country. The resources that Liberia has, no country in the world has it. Liberia's natural resources far, far above all of the countries. Go check it. You will come back to me and tell me thank you for such a historical info. Go check it. That tells you that God set Liberia that other countries will feed on developmentally, but Liberia abuse it, curse itself, so it is begging every little thing. America will come in. They are proud to say the government or Japan has given the Chinese government almost all the structures that you have here built by the Chinese government. They will build this one, they will build that other one. The only thing we can do is we're excited to call the media and say our Chinese partner has constructed this for us. All kinds of political rhetorics they will use. And the thing, Liberia is independent. We're not independent. Look at the petty thing. Yeah? Oh, come on, man. You try. So, I say, yeah, the economy, it will be like this for a good while. Because these foreigners have solidified their base. They have taken, their grip is strong on the country's economy. Liberia can do nothing, absolutely nothing without these people. If these people just take any decision, the country will break down. So you see, those of you now who, anyway, it's up to it. This government can set the pace. One government can change the situation for the better. Okay, we'll pick up the correspondence. Let Joy, please bring on Rescue Rambo. Bring on Rescue Rambo. We'll pick up the correspondence from the county. These things are in line. We don't want to mix them. We just start to talk about them in line, then we move. Bring on Rescue Rambo. He said, Rescue Rambo. You have him?
Yeah,
Rescue Rambo. Martin Colley.
Yeah, I have the summary of what he wrote.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Yeah, what he wrote is very long.
Yeah, just a summary.
The Presidential Press Bureau is not a high school press club. Vala, as a high school graduate, has no qualification and competence to occupy such a technical post. What can Vala advise the president about?
I beg you, just hold on to that here, because this one, he just released this one about the same thing we just talked. So as soon as I finish, then you get it. Okay. Thank you. You said it's going to be a summary. Yeah, what he wrote, he said across the table, he's referencing the meeting, of the importers. He said across the table, we could only see Lebanese and Indians. Why should they even decide what we eat, wear, drink, and brush our teeth with? No Liberian business does this in Lebanon or India. Our people are still store boys and store girls.
So he has alluded to the same thing we've been talking. He has alluded to it. So the economist is not now controlled by Liberians.
But when
Liberians.
The question you should be asking these people, when they got to know this, that now they know that it's wrong, that the Indians and Lebanese should not be managing the country's economy.
I think you got it right, or the Rescue Rambo. Rescue Rambo, Madinki and Kali. So, okay, let me continue with, read that stuff again.
He said, across the table, referencing the meeting with the president yesterday, across the table, we could only see Lebanese and Indians. Why should they even decide what we eat, wear, drink, and brush our teeth with? No Liberian business does this in India or Lebanon.
Then he came on again and said, in relation to the appointment, the president made about the deputy press secretary, he said, the Presidential Press Bureau is not a high school press club. Vala, as a high school graduate, has no qualifications and competencies to occupy such a technical post. What can Vala advise the president about pertaining to PR strategy, media relations, crisis communication, etc.? The deputy spokesman of a country's presidency is not a child's play. It comes with a huge responsibility that requires long-time expertise. It is not a place to grow from. We cannot reduce public service to this level. Exile Liberian activist Madinki Collins. So you know, the president has appointed, and Martin said the appointment is not in line. You know, the appointment does not suit the individual who has been appointed.
He said we're being rescued.
Yeah. So we earlier on
rescue cracking.
Former President George, we are appointing incompetent people in positions, and now President Bwaka has appointed, the deputy press secretary, and Martin
the man high school graduate.
He said it's not the bureau, the press bureau there is not a high school press club. That's why he's saying that. So even they say the man don't have degree. So the man just a high school graduate, he been around, he's a street smart, he got all of, and a freshman or stuff and thing. So yeah, he been around. So the same thing we said, about former President George Weah government. They said George Weah was appointing incompetent people in his government that led to the government incapacitated way of functioning, and today they are appointing people too, and thank God they are the very people recognizing or identifying the mistakes in their own government. A Rescue Rambo, Martin K. Nkoli, who stood, firm and said George Weah was incompetent to become the president of the country for the second time, and now he's critiquing, disagreeing with the appointment made by the president whom he brought forth to the presidency of our country. He said the president was not to do the kind of appointment.
Yeah,
or should not accept the kind of appointment because the person is not qualified or competent?
Yeah, he is entitled to his opinion like any other person. But what people will also have to understand, not every place you will need the full credential. There are people who are in certain areas, they don't have the credential for that area, but they can perform. They can perform well. There are some people, they are they appointed in government or in a certain position. They really not schooled in that area, but they are performing well. People learn on job. It depends your humility, your seriousness to acquire. Like it shocked many people. This is not a justification. We don't want to believe what he said. It is his opinion. We don't know much about the deputy or Joseph K. Fala in terms of his experience, credential. But what I'm saying, those things happen. People can be appointed to a position and perform well. So it shocked Liberia a couple of years ago. Everybody listening to Robin White. Robin White comes to Liberia. Robin White is addressing scolds of Liberians. And he decided to give a simple story. You know what he said? He said he was just fanning around BBC, doing some petty things, and he wasn't thinking that he was going to be the way he was. And at the close of the day, what did he say? He said he didn't go to mass communication class to know this, to know that, but he was just around. And at the close of the day, he started his curiosity, humility, enduring the test of time from those guys who were ahead of him. He grew, and when the opportunity was afforded him, he started to perform. And then the same people look at him and say, oh, but this guy can be X, Y, Z. So I'm just using that situation, but it doesn't work in all, for everybody now. Everybody, even the lady who is his boss, she wasn't practicing, even though she went to the University of Liberia and obtained a BSc in mass communication, but she wasn't in mainstream practice throughout. She'd been in women's advocacy. But she's doing well. Kula Fofana, she's doing well. And it helped in her because she is also a graduating senior from the law school if she hasn't graduated. So all of those things, well, sometimes you give the person chance. But it's good that they're critiquing themselves internally. Yeah? So let's take few calls on this one, and then we pick up our correspondent draft. It will take us up to 5:15. Then we discuss two other breaking issues, and then we get out. It's 0770 907 907 0776 36 40 45. So draft just said them. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I am actually not calling for thank you for everyone on this spot. The president, 100 days deliverable.
No, we're not talking about President 100 days deliverable. We passed that. Hello.
Hello?
Your name and where you called from?
Well, I'm Edward Sherman, and I call from Park Settlement Center, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother, I'm listening to you people. And you see, this is why some of the Unity Party folks like me, sometimes they always get angry with me. Let me tell you, people who are independent, my brother, they almost like the chicken. When the chicken is white, you put red oil on there, it will still produce that white color. And it is always good to have someone that will checkmate you. Someone that will tell you the truth. The truth hurts. But the best part about the truth is that it heals. And so I want to hear Amara comment that he should really go more deeper so that the Liberian people will know that, no, this guy is not a blind loyalist. He has one thing to protect, which is the country Liberia. And that's why I always tell people it's good to be independent. This is why some of us listen to your radio station religiously because the manner informed, you discuss the issue, whether the person is going again, you give them a chance. Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming on. Have a nice day. 0770 907 907. 0770 907 907. Hello?
Hello, Andrew. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you call from?
I'm calling from Bangaso. Hello?
We're listening to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the unique discussion. You know, so now, in the morning time now, I pray for St. Andrew program for me to be well, to listen, because you are saying it make people to be educated, it make all we that have been down to even wake up or to sit down and listen to your show. Thank you very much. One of them, they are really, my brother, is not what your party for you, but it's what you can do for your country. You know, when somebody like Aho, they got always call from Jigota, was very listening to that comment there, I'm out on them so he can learn from there. And I hope the Deputy Minister, Janga Sando, too, will listen from Amakona so they can learn from there. Even the Information Minister, proper, so they can learn that if even your leader that appoint you are making mistakes, go side that party, even your father, or even the woman that we can get out west, when they are making mistakes, you can't, they're making confusion in the community. Right there and who carry her to advise her because one day they will make it shit.
Okay, Chief.
That's the situation.
Thank you.
Very much. Let God bless you. God bless your puzzle. God bless the radio station. Thank you very much.
Amen. Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is G. Masajala.
Let's hear you, Mr. Jala.
Yeah, okay. For the program, very unique program. I'm so glad to hear from people. In a way, Liberian people will just look like some animal that's in the bush. If the color is black, how we are. We cannot change. Absolutely. Reason being is 1954, President Todman, there was a red riot. So they start from ancient times. 1979, there's a red riot. And a lot of people die. Today, Liberia, we cannot change it. We have the strengths, we got the mind, but we don't have support to do a farm work.
Okay.
Now, yeah, let me tell you the truth. A statement where America made, of course, you have rights to speak, but the government just came into being. It's over 100 and some more days.
No, government ain't got short, ain't got long, ain't got resting time. Oh. Nothing like that associated with government. Oh.
Okay, I agree with you.
The very first day the president said, I do solemnly swear that I, Joseph Yuma Boaga Sr., or so help me God. If he works start from there.
Yeah. Okay, then I just want to echo on the appointee of the press secretary, the press secretary. I just want to comment on that. You know, where's the bet you when you see Alyssa share?
My man, just go straight. Whether you think the man qualify or not, Martin Collins say he qualify. Forget about parables.
Okay. Now let me just go to the point. What I mean by that is this guy, you don't have even a degree holder.
You know him? You know Joseph Jala? Is it Vala? Eh?
Yeah, Joseph Vala.
Those people
you know him?
I have not seen him.
But how you say the man get a degree?
Yeah, but when people have said he just have.
Oh no, man, Chief. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you call from?
Okay, this is G. Moses. Why I calling? And I'm calling you from Bonta residence.
Let's hear you.
Okay, yeah, but say Andrew, I just want to appreciate you and your co-host this afternoon. You see the issue about Liberia, this country, we don't know where the country goes, Chief. people will be in opposition, they will talk evil about the government in power, but when they come, they will do the wise thing. Look at our president this morning. Why should you go off from the meeting and the information that we're getting? Right issue is cardinal issue because it's about staple food. Right issue 1979, we know the trouble it caused in the country. Right issue is not their ordinary commodity. You just walk away, but you find no solution.
Yeah, that was not right on his part. People would think that he was right. When I heard that this morning too, it was shocking to me. When I heard it this morning, when Sekou said that he walked out of the meeting, it took me with a shock. But I soon realized not necessarily that he was vexed. I think he sat for long because the president can sit for long. The president can stand for long. I want to believe that he used that means to go and rest because the president cannot sit for 1 hour, 30 minutes. The president cannot stand for 1 hour, 30 minutes. What we're doing, the president can do, we sit down from 3 all the way to 6 o'clock. That 3 hours and talking is hectic. It's not easy. No, I get your position, Chief. Thank you. I get your position. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it quick. We've got our correspondents to bring on.
Hello?
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Yankson. I call from FDA. Yeah, I want to say thank you for the topic on the discussion. And the statement made by the Honorable Amar Kone is welcoming. What we said because, if you start to criticize your own horse, then definitely you're looking for the worst change. So with the changes the president talking about is something like I think we see him going to water because first of all they're trying to get rid of the old things and bringing the new things. So we should expect all of these things to happen.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so it is the reality, whether you like it or not. The president can sit for very long. He cannot walk for very long or long mile. And all of us know the president isn't in a good deal of health. You saw what happened when he went for the 10th graduation ceremony at Liberia Maritime Training Institute. Where the president convo passed, that place is not for car. It's a small, a narrow road that you will walk through. It's just like you do a partition in your yard, or just how Hotel Africa was at first. Amen. They get it's so small.
Yeah, the pathway.
Yeah, pathway. Thank you. That you just walk through. Mm-hmm. But because the president cannot walk far, so what they did, they forced the car between the flowers to get to where the program was taking place, so that he would just get down and go to his seat. Mm-hmm. You're listening to Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia, 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia, 89.7 Kakatama, Gibi County, Voice of Liberia, 90.7 Bon County. On this 22nd day of May 2024, with me, Sam Andrews and Edwin Draw. Let's move now to pick up our correspondence
across.
Which county we're going to first?
Maryland. We're picking up Maryland first, and later we join my giving. So right now we will join Prosper Gray, and Prosper Gray is our reporter there in Maryland County. And earlier we have been hinted that. Let me see quickly. We have been hinted from Maryland County that, oh my God. Okay. So we have been hinted from Maryland County that fire outbreak hit resident of Zone 11 community in New Plebo, despite no electricity. And the following development will come out later, but let's now move on the line and talk to Prosper, who is our Maryland County correspondent. Good afternoon, Prosper.
Good afternoon, Edwin.
Yeah, how is Maryland County as we speak?
Well, Maryland County planted is very okay. It's doing fine. Just that the weather is somehow trying to change. Like a little pool out of rain want to show up.
Where exactly are you? Plebo or Harper City?
I'm currently in Plebo.
Plebo, is Plebo close to the sea?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so bring us up to speed with regards to this development about the fire outbreak in Zone 11. How did it happen?
Well, from we were on the same day on the 19th, on Sunday, a good Sunday with a bad news. A lady house got on fire, and everything in the house got burned. When we were on the side, we tried asking her, but the entire community don't have electricity. So, and she's not using machine either. So, like, try asking her was like solar panel. It was overcharged over the house. And she heard the sound of an explosion. And the entire house got on fire.
Oh, the explosion of the battery, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, did they manage to take anything from the house, or everything got burned?
Well, nothing at all. Not a penny from the house. She was just left with the clothes that was on when she went to service, and she had nothing taken from the house.
So, do the people of Plebo City have a fire service there?
Well, it's not like really functioning, so she was not like able to.
Oh, the fire service is there, but it's not functioning.
Yeah, not really functioning.
How long had it been down?
Well, for some couple of times now, they have been down.
Is it a years or a month?
Well, a years now. It's not really moving.
What is the cost?
I'm sorry to say, not more details from them, but I have to get to them and ask questions because there's like the first of it can happening for the house to be burned.
So when a house is on fire or have gotten fire and burned down, the owner of the house will try to search for refuge. Somebody who will help them. With another place. And so, where are they currently?
Well, she's actually people are helping her. Currently, she's staying with other members of the community while she's asking for help from the leaders of the county to see how best they can at least assist her because she's actually, a family dependent. People depends on her. Like 11 persons stay with her in the house, and all of them depend on her.
Was it a rental house?
No, not a rental house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, bring up to speed with the next development. Mr. Adolphus Boone Williams, humanitarian, donate 20 pairs of rain boots, 20 pieces of cutlasses, and 20 pieces of shopping far to people of Sowicken, Sowicken, Plebo District, right, in Maryland.
Yeah, sure, that's true. We have a very, very, good humanitarian here with us, Adolphus Boone Williams, and he actually, when he saw the focus from the people who are doing a little farming, he decided to help them, and he donated some tools to them for the work.
The farming work there, is it a team work or individual farming?
Well, it's a team. We have a project here ongoing in Maryland County where we call it's a project.
Okay.
And they are run by like from community to community, Silicon, Plebo, and Palaway, putting members together to see how best they can grow some crops here in the county to lessen the burdens of expenses on the market.
Okay. So is it a new organization or they've been doing it for a couple of time now?
Well, it's actually a new organization just beginning this year. Yeah.
So what particularly are they going to be involved with? Rice planting, cassava, and other stuff?
Well, they are involved with cassava, beta ball, pepper, and it's just level what you can produce as an individual.
Is it going to be a large scale or just subsistence farming.
Well, it's on a lie something. Yeah.
Okay, Prosper, thank you for filling us this afternoon from Maryland County.
Thank you so much, Edwin. My
All right.
pleasure.
Okay. So we now move on to Margibi County, where Ramsey Yenesingbe is situated. And Ramsey would earlier on hit us, he hinted us on a development there from Margibi County. And let's move on to Ramsey so we can talk to Ramsey Singbe to fill us in this afternoon on Bit and Pieces. Ramsey Singbe, our branch manager in Margibi County. Ramsey, bring us to speed as you earlier reported members of 6 communities in Kakata are calling on the national chairman of the Liberia Land Authority to make sure that they get an acre of land which they claim he mandated the Margibi land administrator to give them.
The chairman of the committee set up for that land is the chairman of the Medina community, person of G. Rufus Mangil, and the land has been in dispute. And at one point in time, from what we've gathered, the Liberia Land Authority ordered the Margibi administrator of the Liberia Land Authority, Bobby Yuka, to ensure that the land is turned over to the community, because we also understand, I don't know how the land authority did it in Margibi here, that land was sold to somebody privately. The former representative candidate of district number 4, Margibi County, Fred P. Wise. We understand he bought that land, he got every other documentation to that land. And the community people over there, representing the 6 community, including the Buffalo community, the Medina One community, the Painesville, the Francis Louis Farm, and World Bank communities. All these communities, they got a committee set up, and they're saying that land in question is an acre of land that they want to carry on some development. They're building a school. According to them, saying that James Mananuku of the county visited them before, and they put a plan before him, and that he wants to carry on a project, a market, and a school that will be worth around $100,000 according to them. But then, 2 lots of that land they've been claiming out was being purchased by Mr. Wilson. And now, the land in question, why the dispute was going on recently, we understand that the National Office of the Land Authority investigated, and they ordered the Margibi administrator to ensure that the land goes back to them. But today, when they went back to be able to get them, because they said they were trying to get in 2 lots of the land, they didn't agree. That's the point from which the dispute started. Now, the Margibi Land Authority, from what we understand, sent the surveyor there today, the surveyor, Mr. Blackie Tiddy, and they said they're not satisfied with him because, according to them, he's one of the persons who was part of those who sold the land illegally. Yeah, that's what they were claiming.
So
the person who sold the land put the land in dispute. So they said they cannot be able to work with him. They're not satisfied with him, but in fact, he's not supposed to be sent by the land authority from here. But then I spoke with Mr. Blackie Tiddy. He said there's no time he was ever part of any land sale, according to their allegation. He was only sent there some time back when Fred was there, secured that land right there, according to him, from the Land Right Authority. So he went to do a survey as a surveyor. And then today again, they're saying that to go and identify another 2 lots of land to be added to the 2 lots that the community has to make it 1 acre that will be 4 lots. He said when he went there, the community chairman for that community, George Duru, identified somewhere that he could be able to get 2 lots of land to be added to the already 2 lots of land the committee is trying to protect. And the place that he said was given to them is somewhere that is not in line with the land that the earlier on got. So they said that part of the place that was shown by Mr. Black, Mr. Tiri today, is in the swamp, so they don't want that land, and they want the land authority, national office, to ensure that they can get their land. And that also they don't want him to do any survey or whatever, because according to them, it's a part of the dispute.
Ramsey, the land under dispute, is it a deeded land?
The land under dispute, like I said, it's a land that the land authority knows about, and this land is a land that they are considering as a community land. I mean,
Okay. It doesn't belong to a particular person.
Yeah, the folks who are calling on the land authority, they said this land is the community land. A part of it was sold to a private person, and so they want that land back. So the dispute has been ongoing. And then at one point in time, the administrator or the officer was told to ensure that they can get that land back. And so when they went today for that process, they saw Mr. Blackie 3, which they said did not.
So Ramsey, what we want to understand here, Ramsey, is that the person who purchased the land, the person has a deed claiming that they bought the land. If they bought the land, who did they buy the land from? Who are signatory to the land deed?
The person who purchased the land, like I said, is Mr. Fred Wisse, former representative candidate.
And who are those that sold the land to him?
Those that are that are being fought currently by those guys to retrieve the land, include the former city mayor Emmanuel Gore and Fred P. Wisse, and then also the accusing Mr. Blackie Tilly, the land surveyor working with the land authority.
Ramsey, the thing here, Ramsey, the question here is the deed substantiating the legitimacy of Fred Wisse on the land. Who are those that signed the deed that they sold the land to Fred Wisse?
Well, the document in the possession of Fred Wisse is a document that is approved by the Liberia Land Authority. I mean, the office from the county, but the national office investigated the matter and realized that there was a problem, so they mandated that the land goes back to the community.
Yeah, but a community land, before it's been sold, the community dwellers will have to come around and have a town hall meeting and agree upon that the land should be sold for a developmental purpose. And once everyone agree, they will have a resolution and signed as a community dwellers. That's how they go about selling a community land. So if the land administrator ever sat there and unilaterally signed a document because he has the power and sold the land to Fred Wisse, I don't think it has to do with the involvement of an individual from the community. So the land administrator there should be held liable, should be responsible for that.
It is not even on the regime of this current land administrator. We have Joe Dora, former administrator Dora. It is under a regime from our investigation that the land was sold, and then with the involvement also of the city mayor. That land was sold to Mr. Fred P. Wisse.
So the involvement, all those that were involved in selling that land, they criminally sold the land because the land right act will not prove that or say, an authority just woke up and sell the land in the absence of the community dwellers without having a town hall meeting or a resolution.
In fact, the community dwellers did not, plan to say, oh, we want to sell the land. That portion of the land is something that already have made effort and they try to secure it for development purpose.
So it's being criminal.
In 1 acre, that 1 acre now, 2 lots of it was being, sold to Mr. Wisse. And then he got that land correctly because the land authority is the one that is responsible to legitimize what this land is for you.
Mm-hmm.
It is customary land, it is community land or what. And so he got it with the involvement of the land authority approving it. So he has been claiming legitimacy, and I think he's been right. But then the head office now under this new administration investigated that it was wrongly sold, so it should be given back. to the community to carry on the development.
Okay, so Fred, we said now we'll give the land back to the community. So if he had issue with people who sold the land to him, now he can take them to
No,
court.
Fred Wizard does not even want to release the land. Fred Wizard is, taking issue with the community people and also claiming legitimacy according to his document, to his brother Project Wizard. But it is the community that is pushing, and the investigation have been done, and they are telling the land authority on the ground here to be able to give that land back to the community. Whether Fred Wizard agree or not, I don't know how he's going to handle it. But they're saying the land should go back to the community. And at one point in time, I follow the Wizard is saying that he challenged anybody who would take the land or even the land authority because he got the land legitimately, he paid the money and all the documents were being signed by the authority of the land authority. And so that is the issue. But that
So
past administration.
the issue being in court, is it in court?
No, it is not in court. The only thing that I know is that
So it's just a mock exercise.
There was a dispute. The dispute went to the extent where Project Wizard has claimed that the guys went on the land, the community people now, went and broke their cornerstone, the soundboard planted there, and every other thing. But the community people were denying that they all broke the cornerstone. At one point in time, some of the guys even went to jail for that land from the community because they were accusing Mr. Wizard of making sure to work with the police and ensure that they go to jail, to put fear in them, to forget about the land business. Now all the things will follow it up. But the real part of it now that got our attention is the land authority telling them that the land should be turned over to the community people. So that's where our attention is going to be, taken.
So the Liberia Land Authority should not be making things to appear as if they're in the interest of the community and they are not backing the community. If they're making a statement that the land belongs to the community, Fred Wizard should turn the land back to the community. There should be a procedure, not just by saying it by mouth. So they should go to the court, and the court will have to.
What happened, the time they showed when they mandated, I think the problem from our investigation is from the current authority here, because at first the current authority here, when this dispute started recently, like I said, that land was sold down back on the past leadership. And then when the dispute started recently, the current authority here, have been making the case that the land is legitimately the land is legitimately for Fair Research, knowing very well that this land was sold to a private person which belonged to the community, and I will not be left with that person. So the national office now, when the report reached, then they investigate it. Sometimes you can have people working to places, and they'll be running their own show, their own way. Sometimes the bosses will come there and say, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. The mandate is like this, the law says this. So by the boss's order, and they tell you, go ahead and do it like this. And then you have to do it. So since they told him, the community people are saying, and since you were told to turn the land over to them, he's been having some delay, and that he sent surveyor today. That surveyor, they said he's a part of the group that sold that land wrongly. So they don't want to work with him. But the man is saying he did not sell land. He was not part of any selling of land that they are claiming. And at that time, when the land was sold to Fair, we said he only wanted to do the survey on the instruction of the land authority.
Okay, that's a job too.
Yeah. And so he went there again today to go and identify 2 lots of land to be added to that land. And then when he went there, they said the place he showed to them is somewhere that in the swamp. Now he explained to me that the place was identified by a chairman of one of the communities over there. But there is a special committee, said it is this committee that is having the problem, and this committee is the one that has been involved into this fight.
The extension of the land is being brought because the Senator Nukwe want to build school for them, right?
Yeah, they said,
so is that the hindrance?
No, that's not the reason why the extension of the land. The Senator Nukwe had a meeting with them, and then they invited him to a program. Then they told him that they want market and a school for the community, for those communities. They want a market building and a school building for those communities, 6 communities.
Okay.
Now he told them to find a land. It is this land, 1 acre of land that they said the fund, a part of it was being sold to Fred Wizard. Here is where the problem came from. And the senator is saying why it is true that he wants to help. He does not want to be involved with any land dispute issue, or he does not want to encourage people fighting for land and having misunderstanding. So they should have an understanding and make sure that they follow the regular procedure and follow the law. When the land is cutting and everything is on course, then he will come in to be able to give the money for the development or to do the development that he promised them.
Yeah, so quote unquote now the dispute of the land is the one hurting the development.
Yeah, that is the case. But they are saying the land, the way they want to get in the land this time around, they want to get in the land in an L form. And at first the land has been in a square form. That's why they want. And so they don't want that man to work with them. The land authority will ensure that the man on ground.
So the L form now, the land giving them in the L form, the portion of land they want to add to their land. Who owns that land? Is it the same public land?
Yeah, it's in a sea area there, but the portion of it that they are giving them, they say it's in the swamp, and that's why they don't want.
But is it also a public land, right?
Yes.
But even if it's a public land, why would they be talking about in fact giving that portion of land to them? In how you call it, substituting the land being sold to Fred Wizard, because that's all of their land too.
They are saying they are saying
it is also part of their land.
Hello.
Yeah.
They are saying the portion of the land that was bought by Fred Wizard, the guys on the ground here don't want to give it to them. They want to give children different place to be added to the 2 lots, and that's not how they want it. They want that particular spot back.
Oh, okay, and that seems to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because Fred has money. In Liberia now, when you get money, like what they did to the guy Koluba over there, when you got money now, your case will be good. So the government now no longer pleading for poor people. All right, Ramsey, thank you for filling in this afternoon. We appreciate you wholeheartedly. Hope we talk, God willing, tomorrow.
Thank you. We hope to be on the show always. Thanks always for the job you do for the people of Liberia.
Thank you, Ramsey Singbe. Ramsey is the branch manager in Kakata, Margibi County, and has reported that there is a land dispute in Kakata, Margibi County. A community land was being allegedly bought by former Representative Kennedy Fred P. Wiesen, and they went to Senator James Emmanuel Nukwe for development, and he asked them to locate or show him a land or a place where he will be able to build them a market and all of the school they have requested. But then the community land earlier was being sold to Fred P. Wiese by a few other people in, let's say by the Liberia Land Authority administrator in Kakata by then. So Fred Wiese is claiming the land, that he bought the land legitimately, legally, so he is the legitimate owner of the land, so he and nobody got anything to compromise on the issue of the land. And now the community dwellers are saying people who sold the land to him did it on their own because it is a public land and it belongs to the community. Since it belongs to the community, community will have to have a resolution as to whether they want to sell the land or they will keep it for a development purpose, as it has already reached for development purpose and there is still a noise there. So if they will have agreed to sell the land, the entire community dwellers will have come to one understanding under the Palava Hut or their town hall, the kitchen, have a lecture and agree that they should sell the land and use the money for different development. But it was not done like that. People sold it on behalf of the community and the community did not benefit. And the community, people requesting that particular spot of the land. And according to Ramsey Singbe, our reporter there, has said the Liberia Land Authority on the Axmont Street area has requested that the land that was being sold to Fred Wiese should be given back to the community dwellers, that the Liberia Land Authority over there lacks the authority to unilaterally sell land on behalf of the community like the present date. And then this one from Maryland, the lady.
I think the Maryland one is more graphic, given or that kind of situation. As I listen to the lady explain, it's too pathetic that you will not have a single fire truck in that area, and you got the county having significant representatives This is one of the reasons why people elect people, or the county elect people to the legislature to work on some of these things. You can have uh, sporadic fire outbreaks in urban Liberia, rural Liberia, the same. It's pathetic. It's pathetic that the fire truck being down for a long while. So what all the representatives been doing?
Yeah, now Buffer Chuma, who they just defeated in recent times from that district.
Yeah, and he was speaker for 6 years. And he could have done something along with the other people. Now, if the lady can say there's no fire truck, the one that is there is just scrap, then imagine police and the medical facilities and other essential is out, not functional. It's pathetic, man.
Yeah.
Hearing that, it's pathetic. I thought she would have said that it's functional, but it can move, give it. Anyway, it's too bad of, man. For the land issue, is an issue or something in Liberia from 1847, people being scrambling for land. The politicians have taken almost all the lands in this country. It's not, it's not strange hearing that that scramble for land. The person who has enough money in this country and power wins the case. Yeah, once the man has the money and the power and connection to the people in the court, the lawyers, he wins that case, as we have seen a couple of them around here. But they have to reach a settlement on that. It can be, because it's one of the things that, if not handled properly, people get injured from it. People die.
People
because
die,
It's
yeah.
very sensitive. It's a fluid situation, land.
So let's have you say on the issue there, the land issued in Kakata, then the fire service issued in Maryland County. Let's have you say, and then we move on to our next talking point and zoom it and have a day. Hello? 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Call and let's have a say on the two talking points here from our correspondents across Maryland and Margibi County. The land dispute in Margibi and the fire service, the lack of fire service in Plebo Sorican district.
That
led to the-
county, Magibi is noted for land dispute.
Yeah, land,
cash.
always on land
Well,
issue
yeah,
there.
it's been a very long time.
Senator Kine,
Yeah.
you know, that Rodent Kine
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
That led to
Yeah, it's historical.
Mhm.
Yeah, been that way for long.
Hello? 0770-907-907. Let's have you see. If you can call now, then we move on to our next talking point. Hello? 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907.
Magibi is noted for land crisis. Yeah, we've been hearing that thing years. Yeah, but what's happening?
You know, the thing is not a politics, so you wouldn't see
Yeah,
more
but
people calling.
the calls coming in.
The network,
but
huh?
something is, it's going off. Yeah, something is, the calls coming in. That's a very significant issue. If imagine that is Magibi and Maryland with such appalling condition, then imagine the other counties that are a bit remote.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, my brother, your name and where you come from?
My name is George Kakwa. I'm calling from Broadville.
Yeah, George, let's hear you.
Yeah, you see that land issue, the land authority is not doing well for the people up there. The land authority would not just come out to say they should turn the land over back to the community people all doing thorough investigation. That man bought the land legitimately from those that sell the land to him. And if secondly, why was those people sold on sell that land to the people, and all the while they have been stating they are not been making any corrupt. Only because Somebody say we want to pay you market kitchen before you are coming back. So people were in the know. They were in the know of our land selling. If that was sell our land illegally, but then they should take issue. So then for the land is within is probated. The land commission has to just come out to find a remedy. It wasn't have to just say take the land back to the people. You will be causing harm for the people.
Okay.
I'm saying that man is a money man. You tell that man get to fight that man.
Okay.
That is my thing.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Good evening. Good evening. Hello? Hello? The person seems not to be ready. 0770-907-907. Let's take this person. If not, then we move to the next talking point. Hello?
So, how are you?
I'm fine. Your name and where you call from?
My name is Abraham Wule. I call you for Johnson Street.
Yeah, Ibrahim, let's hear you.
Yeah, the land issue in Magidi. My concern has to do with the Liberia Land Authority. How will people trust them? You say when you want to buy land or go to the Liberia Land Authority, they will give you the go ahead to do a proper buy of the land. Now the man bought the land, they are the witnesses that they are the one that give the man document that the man has bought the land legitimately. And how will they go and tell the man that the man will get the land back to the community? So they are confused. The man to be afraid of them now. Like you want to buy land, you will not go to them. But when you go to them, they give paper tomorrow, will say, "Mama, get the land back to the people." The power to you is not legitimate.
Okay. Hello? 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 Okay. So that's it. Let's move on to our next talking point.
Yes. I know where we're going to land, but there's confusion. And Kenya too. Kenya is arguing on that. They're giving their justification too. But yeah, is it? It's not so much of Kenya, but Kenya too has the same argument, and they've justified why. Our justification is a lie. Kenya too is on the same thing. Yeah, is it?
About the issue of the private jet and whether or not it is being paid for by Liberia, I will tell you that the president have not paid for any private jet and does not have any interest in paying money for private jets. As you know, Liberia is currently challenged in the transportation sector. And one of the issues that he has said consistently is that his goal is to make sure that the important sectors are taken care of. And his own to procure private jet, that is not the government's priority at the moment. Even though every country, the president say you go to other countries, the presidents will have a presidential plane. The country has a presidential plane. But currently, Liberia does not have one, and our current president is not interested in procuring one at the moment because one, there are no resources for it. Secondly, there are other high-level and key priorities that the president cares about. It's not whether the president paid for it or not. I think the lingering question that many pundits have talked about is on the issue of this private jet. It's to say, why the president is going private jet, but I would say there's nothing wrong with a country inviting our president and inviting him and sending the presidential plane. And this was specifically in light of the Guinea-Bissau's travel. The president did not pay for the jet. He was invited by the president of Guinea-Bissau, and it's like inviting you and they say, I'll send you your car to come and bring you, and that shouldn't be a problem. There was not a dime spent from the Liberian people's money in relation to the issue of private jet.
Kula Fufanan, the press secretary to President Joseph Yema Boakai. Why did we bring dates? It's very significant. We'll continue to talk about it. 1. The president is keen on accountability, transparency, probity, fairness in every area of governance. We accept that. 2. The president travel out of this country. It's not a private thing. He, as the leader, must be accountable to the people. 3. Every dime spent on any official, public official, not private, taxpayers' money, the people of Liberia money. The woman who sells billboard on the market table, the man who sells clothes in the store, the lady who moves around with her goods in the wheelbarrow, the Lebanese, the Indians, all of those who pay taxes. Those dollars are what the president, government officials use here as they move from one end to another in the country, internally and out. They must account for every dollar used. The fourth reason that, in my opinion, it is compulsory because they are using different situations to divert. That means they will not want you to know that your dollar, you must know how your dollar, how the president used that dollar you pay as tax. That 50 cents you pay from selling your billboard on the table, from selling your kerosene as tax. By bringing in different political situations or political things, like you see what is happening around. So it is our responsibility to make sure that you know and they must do. So this thing about jet plane, it's not so much of the plane. That is not our concern. Our concern is accounting for every dollar used. Mr. President said he will be traveling on commercial flight. Commercial, when you hear commercial, it means business, and business means money. Anytime you hear commercial, when you listen to the radio and you hear the announcer say, let's play you the commercial, the announcer telling you that that item or those items, the people pay their money. That's what I mean. So when you hear the president say that he will be riding commercial flight, means the money, they're paying money for it. So that money they're paying for the president to ride a plane, to go wherever. That your dollar, your 200, your 300, your 150, your $10 US, your $5 US, that's what they're using. They put it together. They will send to the finance ministry. They will send the comment to the finance ministry. There where they start to process everything. If there are certain flow or there is a flow on Ministry of Finance, when you're on that flow, when the president is about to travel, just be funny around that flow. You will hear expression like this. You hurry up. You're prepared. The president is traveling with this president. The president will be leaving this time. They hasten to process everything. Mm-hmm. The budget is set. That budget, that your money. So the president is not above accountability. There is no law that said the president of Liberia can give account. The president can give account. The president wants the other people to account for the money they use. Equally, the same law say, Mr. Bwaka, as president of this country, you are public servant. You are the president, but you are public official. You're accountable to the people for every dollar you use. So when the president travel by right, by law, it's not an option. It is not a privilege. It is not an opportunity. It is an obligation for the president to tell us how much was used on that travel, the number of persons carried on the travel, how many dollars were used on those persons, like how he traveled to the U.S. Africa Business Summit. And till now, the exact number of persons he carried on a commercial flight is not known. Neither is the amount, the budget used for those persons he carried. The president did not travel on any free plane. He said he went on commercial flight with his people. You and I must know how much was used because I have money. If the president can, then it means the president too is corrupt. The president is under obligation like any other official because everybody that your money they both using. So the press secretary said, oh, there is nothing wrong. The president is not using jet plane. We don't get time for jet plane. Then she said, there is nothing wrong with a friend sending a jet plane for the president to use. No, nothing wrong with it, but there is the need for public information. This is where the suspicion, the criticism have always come from. Governments in the past have done this. Presidents allow themselves to be used. Listen, someone can give you a free thing, but once you are a public servant, you have to make it known. If I am a public servant and DRA render me an assistant as a public official, not as a private person, I am under obligation to tell the people whom I am serving that DRA handed me this because of this. Let the people be in the know. So if the president, friend, will send him a jet plane to use, information sharing becomes compulsory that the president office tell the public that the president will be traveling to Algeria and the president will be using a jet plane. But this jet plane is not owned by Liberia. It's not a Liberian jet plane. Neither would Liberia's taxpayer money be used. Instead, this jet plane was sent by this person or this president to escort given the circumstance. Then everybody knows. The same situation is unfolding in Kenya. The people in Kenya are raising a serious concern about the same thing. Why president, African president will, it say Kenya defense cost of jet for President Ruto's U.S. trip, the same U.S. trip that our president went to. It said Kenya's government has defended the cost of President William Ruto's trip to the U.S. The pricing of hiring the luxury private jet in which he and his delegation travel is estimated to be 1.5 million, that their money. In United States dollars, 1.2 million. So the people raising concern, more than 30 people, including a popular comedian, are reported to be accompanying the president, who landed in Atlanta, Georgia. So more than 30. I was here, I think it was the number around 15, 16, 17, or 20. So all of these people, the people of Kenya too, the raising concern, they say, up to 30. So the argument is the same thing I'm proffering. It's not the issue of the jet, but the money being paid. That's why they use the word pricing. To price means to put monetary value. So you carry all these people, like our president carry.
So all of them will be, a liability on the budget because they will be responsible for everything they will do in the people country, drinking water, sleeping, anything they will do in the country will come from the budget they will allocate on behalf of the trip. And like Sam said, the people who selling the bitter boy, the pepper, taking tax from their head, they are not benefiting in return, no tax benefit in return. You're taking that money to carry in foreign country and go lie down there, enjoy yourself. You come by, increase respect. So the host will summon the agriculture minister and that of the commerce minister.
Yeah, they also summoning the current CSA boss and past CSA bosses.
Civil service agency.
Yeah. Not easy.
So let me just run through this quickly. I don't know what time will permit us, but it's
but let's conclude.
From Front Page Africa.
Okay, just combine it because just go ahead.
The motion as preferred by Representative Ellen Arthur Red, District 3, Margibi County, and amended call on Minister Modar and Agriculture Minister Alexander Nota to appear and explain in detail reasons behind the move and to outline sustainable plans to solving the OH rice problem. Plenary decision followed two separate communications from Representative Frank Safoko, District 9, Mossorada County, and Marview.
What no substance in a minute, sonny. You see, the legislature too.
I remember what petition who are rallying support to impeach President Boga.
I beg you, I hold your phone. I hold your phone. But what the legislature, I thought on that thing this morning, I was listening to a BBC while getting ready to come, and it just came to mind that the legislature in our country is not proactive. The legislature isn't proactive.
They're good at making story. They attract people with falsehoods.
No, they will sit down
and just talking to attract the audience.
They will sit down
and
there.
There will be no substance.
They will sit down and put themselves in the position of a judge presiding over a court. The judge does not go to look for case. The court does not go looking for cases. The cases come to the court and the court adjudicate. Now, parliamentarily, the reason they gave them that authority as the first branch of government is to say, not that you extra, but you have this responsibility. You are the pillar upon which the country stands and move forward. Hence, your oversight must be effective, coupled with every other thing you got to do. You've got to be proactive. One of the things, you don't have to sit and wait a problem occurs, the problem deepens, it becomes widespread, then you say you invite it.
You want to find solution. Once you appear as a lawmaker and you want to summon, a company or a minister or whoever that, honor your supervision as the oversight responsibility goes, the citizens will be happy that they are to get an appropriate result from that issue because you are directly representing them. So when the representative now call the other company, especially when the company has been in an issue with the citizens will be, at peace at the moment, thinking as if the lawmaker there going to handle that issue very quietly and professionally.
It's not so much of individual lawmakers, but the House as an institution, as the first branch of government, they have to be proactive. Go to other countries around and see how the legislature is on top of things. They don't wait for a problem to evolve. The problem persists. The problem deepens. It will get widespread. Then they come and say they are summoning to get a full understanding. They move. That is why, one of the reasons the parliamentary procedure say appear in session only 2 days, because there are a lot more you have to do.
The oversight.
Session, it simply means you bring the issue to discuss.
To legislate it.
So you're on the floor 2 times a week, but it doesn't say that only 2 times a week you go to work.
No, you go to work from Monday to Friday.
2 times a week you appear in session to bring forth what you need to be done, how it needs to be done, who has what responsibility to undertake. So the legislature ought to be proactive, but they will sit. The only thing the legislature from time to time we have known them for in this country is summoning. Before the 2023 elections, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, at that time she wasn't pro tem, she got fed up with it. And she's on record for that. Don't ask us for it. What did she say? She stood in the midst of her colleagues and told them boldly that let us not reduce the Senate to summoning officials. How many officials we have not summoned? And what has changed? Nothing.
What's the outcome?
Then she went further to tell them that the Senate needs to be proactive and aggressive. Aggressive in parliamentary term means that you don't have to wait for the situation to get so serious before. You move ahead to prevent it before it can even occur. That is why you have that oversight. You don't have to wait for session. You are a senator or a representative with an oversight of a sector, and you know that you see a looming problem like this, like the gas situation.
They all know the problem in the country.
Like the gas situation, the person who has oversight will immediately start to communicate with the FPRC managing director and say, Mr. Manager, what am I hearing? What am I reading in the press? What am I hearing about this gas shortage in XYZ country? Won't it have an impact on us? What are you doing? Do you have a contingency plan in place just in case it starts to hit us that it will not affect the population? That's what you do as a lawmaker. But they will sit down, enjoy themselves. When the problem gets so serious, then they say, Honorable Presiding, I move, if I can obtain a second from my colleagues, that we invite the managing director of FPRC to come and tell this august body. Nonsense, man. Sorry, no disrespect to you. But actually, ain't get no. My man, I just don't like to hear that thing. No, my man, I can never be a lawmaker. I go stand in front presiding, the presiding officer and say that thing. Honorable Presiding Edwin Dry, if I can obtain a second, I move that we summon the managing director of FPRC to come and tell this august body why there is shortage of petroleum products on the market. Me, stand, say that thing.
You.
I beg you, yeah.
You represented the same Andrew.
I know. Why would I reduce myself to that thing for? No. I should be proactive. Yeah, I should be exertive ahead of the time. I should not be saying nothing on the floor.
So some of these things bow to when the lawmakers are not reading. Some of them are not informed. You know, same. When a student doesn't read, he or she would not be on top of the notes. What will happen is when the teacher will call for a presentation, the students will always be reneging on presentation because they don't know what is in the note to present. So, like what you just said, all these things before it happens, you will know exactly sometime 2-3 months. Globally, we are connected. Anything positively or physically that affects Sierra Leone, Guinea, maybe Africa or Nigeria,
it will affect us because of the proximity
as well. Because we are of the same region, expected to affect us as well. Anything you see that affecting Nigeria, it has not reached us. But closely, Nigeria is far above us in terms of development. But anything that is affecting Nigeria, that Nigeria got affected by it from the Western country, expect it to also affect us as Liberians. So if you are reading on the global statistics on issues, especially with those occupying committees, those committees heads, you will know exactly that at what given time you will experience the shortage of, that thing you are cheering or serving as a community chair for in the country.
All of them have DSTV in their offices, or it depends on what channel they can choose. Al Jazeera, BBC, VOA. So, and besides that, at their houses, they have the same thing. So it puts you on top of events.
Let me just say, right?
It puts you on top of events. Let's assume. No, I'm not referencing DSTV in terms of.
No,
I'm just saying.
It means that you be informed. That
yes.
You be watching, trending issues.
Definitely.
News allies like Al Jazeera, BBC.
Like you see what happened.
Yeah.
What excuse they giving now? What country they using? They say India. Yeah, because India get the other one. India going to election. So you if they were following. Mm-hmm. If they were updating themselves on these global events, if they were familiarizing themselves with these global events, they would have known exactly the situation. But because they're not informed, so everybody, now they use India, they say, oh, okay, but then, send a situation like that, we can hang on India, we can use it as justification. Say, India going to election, you're going to... Hey, man, the legislature, please, you try to be proactive, yeah? You're slow. You're slow down on this. You're summoning. That thing makes sense. You just feel excited when it's being read on radio. I think that all it does, it makes you to feel happy. But in my opinion, it doesn't have substance. You don't have to call for summoning or prevail on your colleagues or the presiding officer that we should somehow draw to come and tell this august body. Just do what you ought to do by your oversight responsibility. You have that authority. When the need be, if there is a resistance or no improvement, then that's the time now you can say, for action to be taken.
Yeah.
But do your work behind the scene. That's why they appoint you to lucrative committees. Follow events. And something happened, then Mr. Presiding, I move, if I can obtain a second, that we invite the Minister of Posts and Telecommunications to come and tell this august body. And then when the people go there, what do you see? Nothing comes of it.
They just
lecture session.
Yeah, read part of the document. Mm-hmm. And lie, you know, the guys into they go lying, you know, somebody directors.
But the guys, they know how to use the lawmakers, not all, some. They know how to use them when the guys get over there, because they know now the people they say when the men are going there, they say, oh, but that my guy presiding over that thing. Oh, that my friend there. You know, everybody knows everybody now. Mm-hmm. So nothing critical will come out. They will not be critical. Let's just go, man. My man, we have heard a thing. We've heard a thing from some of the people that it's just like you can't call me, it will be too unprofessional. But we have heard it. But yet, what happened? When Tuer came here, when Tuer went to the place, what the legislators said, they said, no pogo. He said, yeah. Oh, my man, that thing was too cheap. They say, they see lawmakers, after the session, they put interviewing them. He said, yeah. He said, Judge, they say, President, we have brought good finance minister. He said, the man no book. He said, Twe can talk.
It just all part to the education we're discussing and the exposure we're talking about, right? When a lawmaker is not exposed to certain things, you don't expect them to be proactive in their performances. What will happen is, for instance, you got a lawmaker who is not a high school graduate, or if the lawmaker is a high school graduate, but the lawmaker don't have that requisite education, but the lawmaker or the person was opportune to serve as a lawmaker for a particular district, and they host someone, the finance minister, or the maybe minister of public work. And the GA committee, maybe you are a member on the committee, you don't know anything about, a road project, the construction of road, you don't know anything about civil engineering. Then they're discussing a bridge project. How will you input to that conversation to impact the community you come from? How will you input? You will just be there as a bobo. The guys who will have a control and got low understanding on it will be the one that will dialogue with that minister because they got their own lay bridge project in their district and they wanted to be done. And they will leave you the website. That's why sometimes when we are requesting for educated people who understand the issues should be elected. It's not that we are against people who been around you in the community for long. We accept the been around in the community for long, but you electing them to serve a particular purpose. So what would be their input? What the impact would they have in society that would improve the livelihood of that particular district you are electing them of?
So the legislature try to be, yes, change the dynamics of how you, if previous governments or legislatures didn't do it, do it. Let it is within your reach. You have that authority to make sure the executive is not answerable to itself. The executive is not accountable to itself. The legislature has to be proactive. The legislature has to tell Mr. President or to make Mr. President to divulge or to make known the travel expenses. Let the people know. It can be business as usual. No, it can be business as usual. That's what you said. So we're going by that expression. That expression we're moving way now. That's the real, how they can call it? That the real logo, eh? How they can call it in politics, man? I don't want to use manifesto, but every government can come with their own stuff. CDC,
IRS?
No, Labor Unity Party can they say rescue, eh? I mean that a code, all right? Let's use code.
Yeah.
So the real code is no business as usual. That rescue was simply that this is what you wanted to move XYZ from out of the way. So you rescue. But the real work is no business as usual. And that's why President Joseph Imabwaka campaigned on. He used that expression many times. So there can be let it not be business as usual. The president office will have to account for every dollar used. Every dollar used the president office, whether domestic or external. The legislature has the right to summon Mr. President to give account. If Mr. President travel out of this country 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, he has to give, his office must give a full report. It is not an option, it is compulsory. If government or legislature in the past didn't do it, this one has to. Otherwise than that, the whole thing about accountability will never ever work. Already it's dying gradually because Mr. President too, he can't account. There are expenses the president can't account for. Already the first one dry, the first one the inauguration.
Yeah.
The
inauguration money.
Mr. President can't account for that one.
Yeah.
Then what's the next one again?
The 22 million road reconstruction.
That one
No
is
account.
going away.
Yeah.
Then the 5,000, 5,000 each.
For the district, federal district,
Yeah.
doing the inauguration.
Mr. President,
No
yeah,
account.
Mr. President can account for that one.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of monies we know that Mr. President can account for. So that business as usual there. The very first day, the president said no business as usual. He got into business as usual. Today, that money, they can't account for it. But he want all the other people, he want to do the one, he want to call him for the number. But what we're saying, the legislature must be proactive to make sure that Mr. President account. If other presidents didn't do it in the past, well, no business as usual must do it. Then we know that there's no business as usual. Let's go to the line. We'll take a few calls on this one and then we get out. 0770 907 907. You have something there? We can inject as quickly as we can.
Let's take the call. Hello?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, your name and where you come from?
Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from South County.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. You are saying all like I told you, we are continuing to listen to you to all lot of information. But one thing I will say to you is, pertaining to the private jet business. How many times the people are already made out clear to or Guinea-Bissau do not have private jet to send it. And
No, we're not talking solely on that. We're only saying, Mr. President said he will be traveling on commercial flights. Wait now. Yeah, the money being paid, that's what we're concerned about. We're not concerned about what kind of flight. If he move out of the country, he must just tell all that you 15,000 here and people, 20,000 here and people that all.
Okay, well, I understand that, but the reason I'm going to the private jet business. The problem that there is our president, you say you are already here. Joseph Baga will not ride even a commercial plane. So let it just be fair enough and tell all when they come, when they go in, how many Muslims they will. I understand what you say. But you know, when you criticize on something so much to the extent that when you come, you cannot do it the way it's supposed to be, then you become a liar to yourself. You know you can lie to the community or lie to yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good evening. Your name and where you come from?
Melvin, good afternoon. David King, property defender. I join you from a resident this afternoon. You see, from the very get-go of this government, Mr. Andrew, I will simply say to you that Joseph Boakai started business as usual. You remember the inauguration fund. Up to now, we have not gotten any accountability as it relates to the inauguration fund, how it was expended. And my big brother Chris Water was lying on by Mianta Formula. She said she gave 20,000 to him, and he said he received only 10,000, and he has received to that effect. With the issue of the district celebration, 5,000 to each district. 1,000 was extracted by the United Party chairman. Up to date, there is no accountability as it relates to that fund. And we can go on naming on a money that is 22 million that was just wasted on the road. Today, there is no account for that money.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you come from?
Yeah, my name is Cesar GP. We're calling from Private Motor Corner. Akuba.
Go ahead, let's hear you.
I just want to say this as a caveat to Mr. Braga. What we escaped from yesterday because there was a little pressure from the West Info. That will not induce him to say that we are sitting down quiet. The God of the Bible is saying, if a tiger is creeping to go eat, that tiger is not afraid. That tiger is setting a trap. So he will not mind our weakness. He will not mind because we are looking at him. Labrador problem is not old man problem. Who can say we have to pamper the old man to say that he's an old man, so more innocent. But this is a caveat given to him.
Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you come from?
Yeah, good evening to the team. My name is Oliver, and here in our call from the capital of Belfast.
Yeah, Oliver, go ahead.
Okay, I want to thank you for the topic, a lot of talking points. You know, it's so surprising and amazing that yesterday evil is today's good. Today, the presidential press secretary is telling us it's not a bad thing to receive a gift from your fellow president to travel to his or her country. But yesterday, it was a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the president can leave Liberia and be in Guinea-Bissau with executive mansion not informing the Liberians about the president's departure to another country. It's not even business as usual. It is strange business as usual because it has never happened. They are the first people that set that record.
Thank you.
So, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Hello?
Talking about Rex.
Hello?
Yeah.
Your name and where you come from?
Hello.
Please go away from your radio.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you live, but go away from the radio small.
Yeah. You get me going now?
Yeah, you live. Let's hear you.
You know, Joseph Wagai, and you know, we're not like good thing.
Liberia, we the Liberia will not let go. Job we are then we say.
Your money finish. Hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you join us from?
Thank you. This is the voice of the Oracle and a call from District 6, Moserado County, EW Rehab. So let me say a big thank you to for the talking point this evening. But my own concern has to do with you see when the CDC government was in power, when we need to call on the radio, we were giving alternatives. We were stating the wrong and correcting the wrong with the right. So today, if folks from the CDC will want to criticize this government, they should also be giving us an alternative. We're now coming to be discussing government, they're criticizing. Let them find an alternative like we're doing in the past. If you do this, it's wrong. What can be right? So we will do constructive criticism like rather than just doing a blind loyalist criticism. So I need a constructive one, I need an alternative to everything you say against the government like we did in the past.
So, all right, thank you. Hello?
Yeah, hello. So you and your co-host well.
Yeah, let's hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Oliver was this one is down from what happened. Thank you for the show this time. Mr. Bagasha, for the time was so good that there will be no place there, I'm sure. I think you were right. You know, everything that is happening in that world is solution. Because, you know, that we are not, deceiving, but we put a far more, we have more than 1,000 fire stations that is solution. It's just far more restaurant to the past, to the 1 USD to the solution. It's just far more. Mr. Boda, at a half or six, travel. No celebrating. We have to with our resources.
All right. Thank you. Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you come from?
Yes, I'm all right. Dennis called from called the son of President Weah. You know, one of our brothers just called and said that during the Unity Party time in opposition, they were doing constructive criticism. But constructive criticism by saying 16 billion got missing in this country for which it was not proven. But constructive criticisms when they were talking about President Weah is using private jets, and which of course today they are using a similar private jet. No, these guys are deceitful. And when it comes to Kula Fofana issues, you know that she often lies. The other day, she lied again concerning the president's travel. She lied concerning so many things. So let us just discuss the real happenings. If the president of our country, Colonel Joseph Nyamapouagai, is not able to lead the country well, he can do the needful things by resigning and then giving the power over to his vice president. But what we are looking at currently, we do not see leadership. We do not see. All we're seeing is the same things what they spoke against, repeating itself over and over again. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. So, well, that's all the call we have to take here, and we have to go home now on the show. And we got to spice it up with some entertaining stuff here on your radio. So we'd like to say thanks to all the who've been following, you know, the conversation on Bit and Pieces, you know. And this is what I call for, and we will continue to inform you from the start of the week to the end of the week. And Manchester United might likely sack their coach and replace him. So just to hint you, but the development will come out, God willing, on Saturday. Pochettino lineup to replace. Okay. So, all right.
Yes,
so
Mauricio Pochettino, he left Chelsea by mutual consent.
He left already.
And Deco and Bojan, they are going for the Europa League final, The Europa League final, and according to what is coming out of Spain, they might use that opportunity to talk with Hans Flick, who is in a pole position to take over from Xavi if he doesn't change his decision and Laporta doesn't change his decision.
Real Madrid consider Manchester City star as ideal replacement for the departure of Toni Kroos.
Okay.
So that's it. That's it. June 1st. Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Borussia Dortmund, oh yeah.
So this one just slipped in. EFLCIC. That's Commander-in-Chief Emmanuel Gongwe is in South Africa campaigning with his boss Julius Malema in Limpopo ahead of the African general elections. He stood down from the Access Recovery team. Okay. Time is of the essence. We've got to make way for the next program coming up. And this is how we go home.
So today is also Europa final. I'm told today's Europa final.
It's today.
Yeah. Paolo
Today, but today is Wednesday, usually on Thursday.
Yeah, but that's final now. That's final.
So they push it to, they brought it to Wednesday?
Yeah, so that's final now. You know, the league, all the leagues are coming to an end.
No, but Europa is always play on Thursday.
Bayern Leverkusen taking on Atalanta, Georgia. Atalanta last thing was they defeated Liverpool. Plenty of goal to nothing. And Bayern Leverkusen ended this season unbeaten from the Bundesliga. So that's it. I've been Edwin Melvin Jua with Sam Andrews. Shalom.
The repeat of Good Morning Liberia with Sekou Sharif and Samira Waller is on at 7 this evening. You don't want to miss it. And then you get ready for a fresh edition on tomorrow morning, the same time from 7 to 10 a.m. Shalom.
Without you, and it's so unfair.